Hello all and welcome to the next video here in the Onion Man's Rooftop 2 at a Cow Caravan of Treasure. Sometimes bartered. The streak continues as it always will. We are back with some WWE Elite Collection Ruthless Aggression figures. These are Walmart exclusive. Pretty hyped that I found these. They've been a lot easier to find than previous exclusive sets. I would say these are coming out probably around a similar rate as the Legend sets at Target. So I like that. It's way better than whenever Walmart was getting like real random people as exclusives out of regular lines. I think it works better when you do an exclusive line and it's a whole series. So they've actually been coming out pretty regularly. This one was interesting because I don't know what series we're on. They're not numbered, I don't think. But these are from two separate ones. We have JBL and then Eric Bischoff. I think the JBL set came out first. It's Edge, World Heavyweight Champion Edge, like in purple gear. First time in the line, Tori Wilson with the dog, which I believe was named Chloe. If I got that right, then don't ever question my wrestling fandom. If I got it wrong, then oops. And then you had JBL. And then we got Eric Bischoff. This is the first time in the line for him in terms of elites. And it's American Badass Undertaker. Although I would say it's not quite American Badass Taker. It's more like 2002, 2003 Undertaker. So it's more like Dead Man Inc. Undertaker. And then GM Stone Cold Steve Austin, General Manager of Raw Austin, to kind of go with your Bischoff with the camo pants and everything. So two separate lines, but I'm going to unbox these together. I didn't need the Dead Man Undertaker. I didn't need the General Manager Austin. I didn't need another Edge, and I didn't really feel the need to get Tori Wilson, so here we go. Just kind of plop these two together. I've gotten a couple of the previous Ruthless Aggression figures. I did get that Evolution Batista and Brock Lesnar. I did short videos on those. And then I also did a short when I found the Shelton Benjamin figure, which I really liked. I'm a big Shelton Benjamin fan, so that was cool. And now we're doing these. Did I do any other ones? Not yet, huh? I have one on the way, which is pretty cool. My Ruthless Aggression Hollywood Rock shipped from Walmart really early. It went up for pre-order kind of out of nowhere, like that series did. I can't remember who else is in it. But I immediately put in my pre-order for that Hollywood Rock. And it shipped just a couple days later. Like, it was kind of wild. So Walmart already shipped out my Hollywood Rock. I'm just waiting for that to come in. That's part of the Ruthless Aggression line, which that's probably the figure I'm most excited for so far this year, because I have been wanting a 2003 Hollywood Rock with the leather pants and the guitar and the big ass belt buckle for so long now. So I'm really hyped about that. So that'll end up being the next Ruthless Aggression Elite we unbox, which is funny because I remember getting that figure when it was a Ruthless Aggression figure, way back when, when it came out around 2003-ish. So yeah, cool. Funny enough, this Bischoff is this is basically the head sculpt we're going to get to for that NWO Monday Night War series that's coming out. If you're not familiar, there is a ultimate line of Monday Night War figures that are coming out. I believe they're going to be Walmart exclusive, which kind of sucks. So hopefully there's not too many of them that are hard to find. There's not a lot that I think I need. Like, I have all the members of the NWO as elites. I don't really feel the need to get them as ultimates. There's a few Attitude Era, Monday Night War era guys that I think would be cool to get if they come out. You know, I don't have like a Prime Goldberg. I'm not a big Goldberg fan, but if you're going to do that, you kind of need one. An NWO Bischoff would fit my NWO stuff because I already have Hogan, I've got Hall, I've got Nash. We have all of the Wolfpack members. I don't know how they could do it, but I hope Conan eventually comes out. I know they don't have a license for Conan, but how cool would that be? We're going to get some new Scott Steiner stuff, obviously, which is going to be awesome. I think like short-haired, kind of flat-top Booker T would be really cool for a Monday Night War set. So yeah, we're getting like a new DDP, some other stuff. It's fun stuff. So there's some cool stuff coming out, but not a lot of stuff I feel like I need to go out of my way to get. I'm actually kind of more looking forward to more of the Ruthless Aggression line, which I've heard may not last too much longer. So hopefully it does keep going, though. I think there's a lot of Ruthless Aggression guys that you could throw out there And if you want to talk about ruthless aggression, it kind of goes from about. I've always heard it's kind of like basically. Some people try to say like after WrestleMania 17 when Austin turned heel. I don't count that. I think the Attitude Era lasted up until essentially, in my opinion, it's when Vince McMahon cuts the ruthless aggression promo. I kind of view it more as like the draft. So like the middle of 2002, basically post WrestleMania 18. So like the middle of 2002 all the way till probably about the middle of 2008 is the ruthless aggression era. And there's a lot of guys that kind of came and gone during that period, but there's a lot of mainstays of that era too that would be cool to see in a figure. I'm going to get into a couple of them when we talk about the Eric Bischoff figure here. And we'll just kind of go from there. But yeah, I needed a JBL. I have Acolytes Bradshaw. I do not have APA Bradshaw. I know there's a difference between Acolytes and APA. If you're not familiar, make yourself familiar. The Acolytes are when Farouk, aka Ron Simmons, and Bradshaw are with the Ministry. So they're with the Undertaker and his group, along with the Brood, Gangrel, Edge, Christian. And then it's Undertaker, Paul Bearer, and then Shane McMahon, I think, was a part of that group. I don't know if Vince was ever. That's when they became the corporate ministry. Like Triple H is in there too. It's such a weird time. I think that's like early '99 or something. Anyway, or no, mid '99, somewhere around there. Because in sounds like it's raining outside. Apologies. Anyway, after that, I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted by like the raindrop sounds. So like that's like Acolytes Bradshaw. Then there's the APA when they kind of disbanded away and the corporate ministry was gone, and they were the Acolyte Protection Agency, and they had the fake door and all that, and they didn't have the chest tattoos and all that stuff anymore. And they had that amazing shirt that said APA always pounding ass. The most unintentionally funny shirt of all time. Anyway, and then eventually you get JBL going into the Ruthless Aggression era right around 2004. 2003, him and Farouk come back. JBL's got the clean cut. His hair's not dyed anymore. And he's still Bradshaw, but it's him and Ron Simmons. I remember a couple things out of that. And I say that because we're going to start with him. So let's get Bischoff out of the way here. And I'm rambling here because I love talking about my memories of wrestling. My biggest memory of him and Farouk coming back, there's two. I remember Survivor Series 2003, Ron Simmons gets injured, but Bradshaw is on Kurt Angle's team. The opening match of Survivor Series 03 is Team Kurt Angle versus Team Brock Lesnar. And Brock Lesnar's team is like all these giant dudes. It's Brock, A-Train, a.k.a. Albert, a.k.a. Tenzai, a.k.a. Giant Bernard for you New Japan fans. Nathan Jones, if you remember Nathan Jones, Matt Morgan before the stuttering gimmick, and he was wearing like silver, and it was just bland ass Matt Morgan, and Big Show. So it's like this team of giants. And then Kurt Angle, it's Kurt Angle, Chris Benoit, aka he who we do not speak of. That's an old Wrestling Roundtable reference for anybody who ever watched that YouTube show. That YouTube show was awesome. So Kurt Angle, Chris Benoit, a young John Cena. He had just kind of started doing the rapper gimmick. Like he had been doing it for a little while, but he was just starting to get over with it. Bradshaw, APA Bradshaw, but he looks like this. Like he's like clean cut Bradshaw, but he's still wearing the APA gear, and then he's still a face, a good guy. And then the last member on that team is Hardcore Holly, who had just come back from after he had the neck surgery, and he was in that little mini feud with Brock Lesnar that you knew he was never going to win. And I remember like he drills the shit out of somebody with a clothesline from hell. I think it's Albert, and eliminates him or something. And then I remember after that, they're at him and Farouk are in WrestleMania 20. They're in the Fatal 4-Way for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, which I believe Rikishi and Scotty 2 Hotty won that match. I could be wrong. Anyways, and then like after that, he disappears for a few weeks, and like immediately comes back, and he's JBL. And then he goes into the feud with Eddie Guerrero, and at Great American Bash, he wins the belt in the bull rope match, which I think is what this is from. I think this is the bull rope match where he won the Undisputed title, or the SmackDown Championship, the WWE Championship, from Eddie. Long story short, Eddie Guerrero was the champion. He had beaten Brock Lesnar at No Way Out 2004 after Goldberg speared Lesnar XYZ. He defends the belt against Kurt Angle at WrestleMania 20 in a fun match. It's not like the most blowaway match you would expect Angle and Eddie to have, but it's a really fun match where Eddie outsmarts him with loosening the boot and everything. I believe at Judgment Day there's like a weird screwy finish, and then Great American Bash, Eddie loses the belt. And he himself, I know there's a lot of people who criticize JBL, like, why did they put the belt on JBL so early and this and that and this? It was Eddie's idea from what I know. Like, from what I've heard, it was Eddie who was like, hey, Bradshaw's been here a long time, let me lose the belt to him. Because Eddie Guerrero really felt the pressure of being champion and felt like he was the reason ratings were going down, even though that wasn't really the case. I think they had just made the switch to like UPN, so they were on lesser homes, and it wasn't entirely Eddie's fault, but he took it as if it was, and he wanted the belt off him, he wanted the pressure off of him, and it kind of leads to a whole thing. And then JBL has a 10-month long title reign, and the whole wrestling god gimmick. Looking back, I know there's people who don't like the matches, and I can kind of see that. Like, a lot of JBL's matches are not good as WWE champion. There's a few really good ones. There's a couple of decent ones with Undertaker, not great, but they're decent. I remember him, Kurt Angle, and I think Big Show have like a crazy fun triple threat match at Royal Rumble 2005. All that stuff. Anyway, eventually he loses the belt at WrestleMania 21 to John Cena, and that kind of kicks off John Cena's reign. All that stuff. And then they had that really cool I Quit match. That's a really good match. That might be the best match of the JBL character. Anyway, I rambled on. I apologize. We got JBL. I rambled on so long there. You get me talking about wrestling things that I love, and I do that. But yeah, I know there's a lot of people who don't like the matches of JBL when he was champion and in the top heel of SmackDown. And I would agree with that, but I still think he was a fantastic character. Like, the character that he portrayed, this loudmouth billionaire, like, he's from Texas, but he kind of turned his back on Texas and talked about how now he lives in Manhattan. He was like an evil, a more egotistical J.R. Ewing from Dallas or something, you know. So there you go. There's the back of the box if you want to take a look. Yeah, let's get them open. I'm glad to have a JBL. I know for some people this probably wouldn't be the ideal JBL. To me it is, because he's got like the red, white, and blue Uncle Sam cowboy hat thing going on. So yeah, we're going to take a look at him and call it good. I know if you don't like my rambling, you're more than welcome to skip ahead on my videos. It's just, especially with wrestling, I can talk forever. I love wrestling. Opening up wrestling stuff's my favorite thing because I can talk so much about it. And we're going to go into a little bit about Bischoff as well. And there's the back. It's that kind of slid out here. So, kind of cool. First off, he's got some alternate hands. Looks like we got a closed fist and another mic holding hand. I don't see any twist ties on him, so he should come right out. We got the cowboy hat. It's like a red, white, and blue cowboy hat. I get the idea. It's red, white, and blue, but it honestly kind of looks more like the like Russian or French flags, like whichever one. I know like one's Russia, one's France. I can't remember how it goes, but it like you should have put like a star or something on there to maybe make it look a little bit even more American. All right, let's straighten him out here. This figure looks really cool. I got a little bit of an issue with his eyes. I'll get into in a minute. His arm was like backwards. Okay, and here we go. A couple things to note right off the bat. Just from a standpoint, like a standstill perspective, he looks good. I like the gear. I like the star, the red, white, and blue with like the gold stars and the gold outline on the trunks. It looks really cool. Kind of reminds me of a lot of what Kurt Angle used to wear. Kurt Angle did wear a lot of red, white, and blue, but a lot of people forget he also wore a lot of gold because of the gold medalist stuff. So like a lot of his red, white, and blue gear was always outlined in gold. Actually, one of my favorite Kurt Angle gears is it's one that he wears where it's like half American flag and the other half is just like a plain, like a gold, I think. I'd have to find a picture of it to remember exactly when it was from. He's got the red, white, and blue tape. He's got this kind of like, I was going to say Cody Rhodes, but I know Cody Rhodes' jackets are kind of like Homelander inspired, so I'm getting the same vibe here. But he's got the big Uncle Sam red, white, and blue thing with the gold frills and the gold stars. They are like individually painted, which is nice, and there's actually a texture to the collar, so that's nice. Sorry for the lack of focus here. I think it's a pretty solid JBL likeness, especially from the side. It looks really good. From the front, it's decent. My biggest complaint that I think throws me off, because it got the hair down really well, and I think the hair is actually a decent color. He has brown hair, so there you go. Maybe you could have thrown in a little bit of a darker brown, but it's all right. My biggest complaint, though, is his eyes. Like, if you kind of notice, his eyes are, like, yellow. It almost looks like he's got jaundice or something. I don't know where they're getting that, because if you actually look at JBL, I mean, he's kind of just got random brown eyes. So, I don't know if they were trying to go for brown and they just didn't have, like, actual brown, but his eyes almost look like they're the same color as, like, the gold paint of the stars. And I think that's what's throwing me off. It kind of gives him, like, a weird lifeless look. So, I think they kind of botched the eye coloring. But besides that, for the most part, he looks good. I'm not going to take off the jacket here. It is a hard plastic jacket, which kind of sucks. I do not like hard plastic good jackets and coats. They're always hard to get off and everything. Thankfully, this looks like it's thin and stretchy enough that you could get it on and off pretty easily. Still. The only other thing I'm really noticing is, like, I probably would have given him a bigger body. Not in terms of jacked up. Like, I think the arms look good, the legs look good, but he probably could have, like, more of a barrel chest kind of thing going on. Kind of like what we see with some of the newer Walter figures. Or not Walter, but Gunther. I think something like that would have been good. As opposed to this kind of more shredded look. JBL was never that jacked up. Kind of a little bit in his later career, he was thinner. He lost a lot of weight when he came back. He was a commentator, then came back. But at this point in time, he was still big and burly, you know, kind of like a Stan Hansen. So I would have given him like a more barrel-chested, kind of flabby look, as opposed to just like this crazy jacked up look. He stands very well, though, so there you go. I mean, overall, I'm going to give it a thumbs up, because I think having a really cool JBL like this is nice. So there you go. But is what it is, I guess. Sorry, I'm like trying to focus on certain things. I don't know why the focus on my phone's been acting weird lately. But yeah, I'm going to give the JBL figure a thumbs up. I think he could be a little bit more barrel-chested. They could have used a different upper body mold. And the eye color on him is a little botched, which kind of makes him look weird. I think it's a good head sculpt. I just think the paint could be a little bit better there. Moving on to another fixture of the Ruthless Aggression era, whether you like it or not, it is Eric Bischoff. I'm just going to go on record and say Eric Bischoff was awesome during the Ruthless Aggression era. He played his role so well. And you can't blame him for any of the booking decisions. Like, you can go back and look at WCW and be like, oh, Eric Bischoff helped to ruin WCW. Fair enough. I think Eric would take some of that blame. Maybe not all of it, but some of it. You can't blame him for anything that happened during that time on Raw. He was just a character. He's always talked about, like, I never had any booking power. I never had any creative power. I was just a talent. So I thought he played his role fantastic. And this figure looks really good. I still remember when he debuted. It was 2002. They were fixing to do the brand split, or they had already done the brand split. Ric Flair was no longer the general manager of Raw because he went back to being a wrestler. And Vince McMahon brings in Eric that night, and it's like this crazy moment, and you see him backstage first, and everybody's like, oh my god. And then he walks out, and him and Vince McMahon hug, and it's like this whole moment. The man who tried to kill them in WCW was now running Raw. That's the story. And I always liked it. I think this figure is cool for a couple of different reasons. And we'll get into it as we go. But yeah, I like Eric Bischoff's time as the Raw general manager. I think it's pretty awesome. So yeah, cool stuff. All right, let's get them open. A couple things about this figure. I don't know why this jacket is so shiny. I get it's supposed to be like a shiny leather jacket, but man, it is. It almost looks like oily. Like old Jakks Ruthless Aggression figures, when they've been in the box too long and you take them out, and if it has like a jacket or a coat that has that oily feel, that's what this looks like. But yeah, I found this one at my Walmart, and then I found the Eric Bischoff at a Walmart in a town a little bit away from me. So my Walmart is caught up to this set in terms of Ruthless Aggression. That other Walmart is on the Eric Bischoff set. So kind of puts into perspective the release timing of these, I guess. These figures have been coming out fast, the Ruthless Aggression ones, because it feels like it was only like less than a month ago that the Shelton Benjamin, John Cena, Kevin Nash wave came out. Which that's a weird wave to begin with. First off, he's got a couple of alternate hands here, just some mic holding hands. He's got some open hands, kind of weird. I wouldn't expect him to come with those, but it is what it is. He's got an old Scratch logo mic, which I like. Pretty cool. Okay, this is the first accessory that, or kind of thing that he comes with that I think is awesome. He comes with this old man head. And I know what you're thinking at first, why is there an old Bobby Heenan head in here? It's not, it's Eric Bischoff. This is from a very specific segment in, I believe, 2002, the summer of 02. If you remember, he was in like a rivalry. He was Raw general manager, and then he was in a rivalry with the SmackDown general manager, who at that time was Stephanie McMahon. And Billy and Chuck were doing their whole storyline where Billy and Chuck were going to be partners for life, and they had their own little pseudo-wedding ceremony thing. And the old man presiding over it, like the priest or whatever, was this old man, and he was talking all slow, and you don't even notice it. It's fascinating. If you go back and watch it now, you're kind of like, okay, yeah, I see it, but it's this old man right here. And then he says, he does like the speak now or forever hold your peace, or he says something to the effect, and he says, you have 3 minutes to speak now or forever hold your peace. And then he starts taking off the mask, and it was Eric Bischoff on SmackDown as this, like, he was wearing the old man makeup. And then they don't, and 3-minute warning come out and just wreck everything. It's amazing. It's a entertaining segment for a dumb story. He's got some twist ties. But that brings me to my next thing. I loved Eric Bischoff doing the 3-minute warning thing. They were like his bodyguard / goons. I think it would be awesome to get elite 3-minute warning figures in the Ruthless Aggression line. That's where I was going with that. I think it'd be awesome. You'd get Jamal and Rosie. Rosie, obviously, later probably more popular as Hurricane's sidekick. Hurricane is one that we could get. We could get a re-release of the Hurricane. That'd be great. Throw him with the Hollywood Rock figure. That'd be great. And then Jamal, a.k.a. Umaga, later on. They were 3-minute warning, and they were awesome. There was like a great tag team that never really, I think, went past their potential. Okay, I got him. Kind of hard to get him out of the pack there. Oh my god, he does feel like weird. Oh, the jacket feels so weird. And his arm's like stuck. I'm trying to twist it into place. Come on. Oh. Did you hear that crack? Come on, turn for me. There we go. His arms are like kind of stuck. Oh, this feels so weird. I do not like this. It does feel like oily and slick. Ew. I wonder if you could like acetone this down. But I don't want to mess with the paint. Now I'm straightening them out. Apologies. Okay. Boom. There you go. We got Eric Bischoff. First off, this is a fantastic Eric Bischoff likeness. Hold up here. It's really good. This is one of the best head sculpts they've done. Head scan / head sculpts. He's got the pointing hands because he always points to his smile. I don't know, focus for me, please. There we go. Hopefully it'll stay focused. Anyway, yeah. The jacket is weird. It's like, it has a weird texture to it. Like, it feels slimy, but it's not slimy. So, I don't get it. It's very shiny, though. Like, it's supposed to be a shiny leather jacket, which if you look at the back of the box, which I didn't show off, apologies. He is wearing a jacket, but it's, like, not that shiny. I mean, I'm taller than Eric Bischoff. He's only 5'10". He's got the blue jeans, white t-shirt underneath. He's small. Probably should be a little... No, well, yeah, he's probably about the right height there. It's a great figure, though. Jacket aside, I will say this shoulder, for some reason, almost looks like a dark gray. It's a little bit lighter than the rest of the black on the jacket. Don't know why, but it is. Blue pants, we've seen these before, maybe in different colorways. We've seen this exact mold. He's got the black shoes. It's a good figure. I would imagine the NWO figure is going to be like a lot of the same, except he's going to have an NWO shirt on, and of course it's going to be an Ultimate with all that articulation. Pinless arms, but not pinless legs. Interesting. JBL over there was pinless, I think, completely. Maybe not the legs. The arms were pinless, though. I can't tell with the knee pads on the legs. But pinless arms, not pinless legs, sadly. Looks good, though. I like it. I think it's a great figure. I like Eric Bischoff in that role. It really made you hate him easily. And there you go. Two really good figures, I think. I'm going to give the Bischoff a thumbs up. Even though I'm not a fan of the way they did the jacket, it's like overly shiny and has this weird texture to it. The head sculpt, everything else about it is really cool. And plus, the jacket feels like it'd be an easy fix. You could probably take any other like suited figure that's wearing like a black suit, which I don't know how many there are. But you could probably take the arms off, slide the jacket off, and replace them if you wanted, and it'd be a pretty easy fix. I don't think it'd be that hard. But it's a good figure overall, so thumbs up on both of them. They have problems. Like I said, JBL probably could use a more burly, fat torso and fix the eye color. And on Bischoff over here, I think we could have done better with the jacket, but I'm still going to give both a thumbs up, and I really like them. Two very good Ruthless Aggression era figures, I think. I don't know where else Ruthless Aggression is going in terms of like the line. Like I said, I've heard it's not going to last forever. There may be only a few more sets left. I know there's another set that's been out. It was like the second or third set, which was Rob Van Dam, Booker T, and oh man, who was the other one in that set? Trish Stratus? No. Because the first set is the Shawn Michaels, Brock Lesnar, Batista, and then there's John Cena, Kevin Nash, Shelton Benjamin, and then I think it's the Booker T, Rob Van Dam, and somebody else, and I cannot remember who. Rey Mysterio. Booker T, Rob Van Dam, and Rey Mysterio. And then I think it's Edge, Torrie Wilson, JBL. Then I think it's Bischoff, Austin, Undertaker. The next one we're getting has Hollywood Rock, but I can't remember who else is in that set. And my Hollywood Rock should be in within the next couple of days, so I'm really excited to open that one up. He comes with the guitar and everything. But I like this line. Don't get me wrong, when I was really little, I watched tons of the Attitude Era. I started watching wrestling in the summer of '98, so I've been watching for a long time. My more preteen and teenage years are taken up by the Ruthless Aggression era, so there you go. It's smack dab in the middle of my fandom when I was probably at my peak of watching wrestling, because I was watching like TNA around the same time too. And that's it for this video. I really like it. It's a longer video for just two figures, but I rambled. Again, it's an era of wrestling I like talking about because I feel it's kind of overlooked and people kind of look at it because it follows the Attitude Era, so it kind of, in comparison, like it's not as good as the late 90s Attitude Era, early 2000s, but I still think it's fun to watch that era, and so I can go on and on about anything wrestling. But that's it for the video. I'm not going to continue to ramble here. If you like the video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. You do not have to if you don't want to, but I always appreciate anybody who does. And yeah, I will catch you guys in whatever that next video may be.